Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're here to have honest conversations about how to follow Jesus and parent kids in a whole person way. For more content and encouragement as we support you on your journey, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're so glad you're here. Now let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. It's gonna be a fun episode today. My name is Presley.
I'm Val.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're introducing ourselves like we're supposed to.
Like we agreed that we would.
Like we said we would. Like we
we
promised.
said we would. Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying. We're doing better.
We're doing better. We introduced ourselves, and
we said what this podcast name is.
we did do
Episode
that.
5. We're doing it.
Yay.
I feel like
You
we
know,
should have
I
5 for episode 5.
Oh man, your arms are short.
Hey.
They are. It's fully extended, and I can't reach you.
Fun fact, I'm 5 foot.
Yeah. A fun fact, I'm 5'5". Yeah. So
She
you're
outgrew
actually
me.
5 foot.
She outgrew me in the 5th grade. There's lots of 5s. This is a theme for the 5th
Interesting.
episode.
Yeah, lots of 5s happening. We'll see if there's any more that pop up.
Yeah.
How was your week?
It has been a good week. Yeah, it's been a good
Mine's
week.
been pretty whirlwind-id.
Yeah. Mine felt long. It felt long. I did another podcast.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like I cheated on our podcast. I
Don't
did
feel
talk
like
about
that.
it just a little bit.
Don't feel like that. You didn't cheat on our podcast.
I talked about
okay.
parenting though.
Same thing.
And
Same realm.
Yeah, same realm. So
Yeah,
You'll
that was
have-
exciting.
yeah,
Well,
it'll be on. It's called Life in Motion.
Life in Motion.
Yeah.
Everyone should go listen when it comes out.
Yeah,
It's
I
through.
listen to that podcast anyway. It's a great podcast. I
It
listen
is
to
a great podcast.
regularly.
I also
From
do
our
that.
church.
From
Church
our
on the
church.
Move.
Church on the Move.
Yeah,
It's a great
Give it a
podcast.
plug. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I am actually.
what'd you do?
I had a couple tests. I went to a concert. I did
Yay.
fun things this week.
That's
I went
good. I'm
and
glad.
volunteered and washed people's feet.
Oh yeah, you
that
did.
was fun.
Yeah. The
and
homeless.
yes, it was through
or-
Tulsa.
yeah,
In Tulsa.
unhoused.
Unhoused people's
Mm-hmm.
persons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that's and I went to young adults. That's really all I did this week.
That's a lot.
I did do a lot this week.
Yeah, that's like a lot.
Yeah, it was a good week though.
Good.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well,
Let's
you
get in-
have.
what
We
is-
talked about. Yeah, we were talking about what we're going to talk about this episode, and
yeah.
Presley had a. She's been reading this book. She's been reading a ton of books this semester. She's in an honors program, and so at college, and
lots
so
of
it's lots
books.
of reading.
Which I enjoy.
Yeah, but is this your only nonfiction book? I think you said maybe.
Yeah. I mean, well, for this class.
Okay, for this one class, it's your
Yes.
only nonfiction, and
But it's called The Anxious Generation, How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness, which is a mouthful. But
yeah.
it's by
Jonathan
Jonathan Haidt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So very famous author. It's a
And
very,
I've heard so much about this book. I really need to read it. And it's
Yes,
like right
you
up
should
my
read it
alley,
right-
but I haven't.
You know what? I have a funny
Yeah.
story. I walk into my friend's room
Mm-hmm.
this morning because I live at a college, and so I can do that. I walk into my friend's room, and because I had left my makeup in there last night,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized I needed that this morning, so I'm like, "Hey, are you awake?" I walk in, I grab my makeup, and she's like, "Presley, look," and she pulls up her curling iron and realizes it's been on all night, and she had left it on this book, and it burnt through the cover.
Oh no! Let me see.
Honestly, it's a miracle
it didn't catch fire.
that it
like,
didn't
to
catch
the
fire.
Dorm.
It did not catch fire, and I cannot believe.
No. Well,
but
praise God. God.
I know. It was a miracle. She's like, I would have woken up in flames.
That's
It had been on for 12
terrible.
hours.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it didn't burn. But like, this whole cover is just absolutely.
Where's it burnt? I don't
It's
see
not
it.
mine. Hers.
Oh, it's her
version.
version.
Her
Okay,
version of it.
her like
Because
copy
she's
of it.
also in the same class. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's bad.
Oh no.
Like even the
Oh my
the binding is like curved now.
Oh no.
I think it's hilarious.
Well, that's not safe.
I know. I was like, someone didn't teach you darn safety. You did not read the handbook.
You need to tell your RA that's missing in action if you can find her.
Yeah, for real. I can never find my RA. She came in
she's
at
a
10 o'clock in the morning the other day, pounding on my door, and was like, room check. And this was my first day I got to sleep in. And I was really upset about it.
It's very classic. She's been missing all this time, and now she wants to.
And
do a
now
room
she
check.
shows up right when I'm trying to
Yeah.
sleep.
This sounds
It's
just
fine.
like the elusive RA.
The elusive RA that just decides to show up whenever least convenient.
Well,
Anyway, so I've been
anyway.
reading this book.
Yes.
It kind of binds together the developmental psychology aspect and how technology kind of affects childhood.
Okay.
And kind of how the evolution of our generation of technology has, just been extremely different than any other generation.
And you said that this so like the premise of this book is about really the inception of the iPhone and social media. Is that really where it begins?
Well, that's where it starts. Yes,
and that
then
correlates
flows from
with
that.
the year you were born.
Yes, which is so I was born in 2007, same year as that the iPhone was first released, which is really interesting. Which means I have never lived without an iPhone. Like that has been, always with me. So, growing up, I remember vividly. I got my first phone when I was in 5th grade. I remember, because
Which was too young,
probably too young. But
Yes.
I remember it was because you guys felt bad that because I was moving schools at that point.
Yeah.
And I was going to have no way of keeping in contact with my friends. And so I remember that being a big thing. And then I got social media when I was 14.
Yeah, because we didn't have any. You didn't have like a browser.
I did
you
not
didn't
have. No, I had nothing like that.
You didn't have like.
You guys got me
access to
Instagram when I was
internet or
14 years
anything
old.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my only social media. And that has been my only social
That may
media.
have been still too young.
Still too young. I would agree
now
with that.
I
Now
hear
looking
like
back,
16 is probably the youngest you should get social media.
and
I
think my
probably agree with
experience
that.
reflects that.
Yeah.
Because I struggled with social media. Like that was
and you were even really limited because we put limits on
I know
how long you could
how
even
long
be
I could
on
be
there.
on it and all this stuff. And to be fair,
and it was a
that
teen
was
account.
also
we monitored it. I mean, it's like
yes.
So I mean, So I say all those things not to like excuse our decisions. Like we should have done differently. But just to say that like for those parents who might be listening and be like, oh, but I do this and oh, but I do that. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
and then still hear your story. Yeah.
Yes, it had really serious consequences on my mental health. Yeah. Because I think, just.
Well, it also corresponded with COVID.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was about 14. Is that right?
Yeah.
When COVID hit.
Yeah.
So
you were were you going into 8th grade?
Going into 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yes. And so being at home that much, and then also, you have social media now. Also, you're extremely isolated, like having no face-to-face interaction with anyone.
Yeah.
That was like had some major effects. I mean, I was so anxious all the time.
I remember. Yeah.
Extremely depressed. I just could not get happy.
Yeah, you got so much. I just remember you getting so much. You just wanted to be with me all the time.
Yes.
Like you wanted to be like right with me.
Yes.
And I knew that, like, we went on so many walks, and I would just be, I would just lay in the bed with you, and I would be in your room, or you would be
with you.
with me,
Yes.
just kind of doing
I think
everything.
it's because I was starving
Yeah.
almost for
like
some
connection.
sort of connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thankfully, thank the Lord that, like, I feel like I've been able to recover from that. But, like, I say all that to say that, like, social media and having a phone and technology was extremely hard as a kid. And I remember, like, as a kid too, wanting to always be on your guys' phone, like your dad's phone, like asking to play on your phone. Or if we had, like, a long drive, I didn't really want to, I just wanted to, like, watch movies.
Yeah. Which we only let you, we only let you guys do that if we were on, like, a long trip. We didn't even have, like, stuff in the car. Or we didn't have tablets, and we didn't.
No, we really didn't. So what we wanted to talk about today was kind of some of the things that this book discusses, and kind of this idea of how childhood has so drastically shifted within an extremely short span of time. If you look at the statistics and the data that are in the book, which we can link in the podcast if you guys want to go buy it, but basically, like, the time frame of just how time was spent in childhood, like the statistics on how time was spent for kids, like, age 6-ish to 12 specifically. So, like, right before teenage years, adolescence, right in that, like, the thick of childhood, the difference between what kids were doing in, 1990 versus what they were doing in the span of, like, 2010 to 2015, drastically different. And so
are you saying, like, from, like, the time they're, like, 6 to, like, 12, like, latency? Is that?
No, I'm saying that anyone from 6 to 12 age group, from if they were
in the 90s,
if they were 6 to 12
in
during
2010.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Then they were having extremely different
gotcha. In the 90s
activities and what they were doing.
So, like, I was in I was in that age range.
Yes.
I was born in 1980, so I was 10 in 1990. Yeah. So my experience would have been what you read about.
Yes. And so I kind of want to focus on and hear your thoughts about the idea of this concept he introduces in the book that talks about a play-based childhood. So what you would have experienced versus a phone-based childhood. And whenever he's referring to phones, he's referring to tablets, computers, TVs, screens in general, like a screen-based childhood. And so there's a lot of statistics that kind of back it up, but I think it's important to note first is, like, how we were created in God's image, and how he created us. And so, like, a quote from the book says that we are physical embodied creatures who evolved to use our hands, facial expressions, and head movements as communication channels, responding in real time to similar movements of our partners. Gen Z, however, is learning to pick emojis instead. And so we have to remember, like, as we're discussing this, that the Lord created us to be relationship, physical, embodied people. Like, he
created us for relationship.
He created us for relationship.
With him and with each other.
Yes. And he created us for like, togetherness, like physical togetherness.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he could have created us anyway, but he created us to be physical.
Right. To be
physical
to not
people.
Be spirits. We could have been.
We could have been little, like, things floating around. Yes, we are spiritual people, but we are also physical
bodies.
And so, like, he had intention in doing that.
Yeah.
And so, I think an important part of childhood, and I think you should speak to this too, because you obviously are,
know about
educated
stuff like this.
in this. Yeah. like this is a quote from a person named Minura. That says during the sensitive period, which is a short time in childhood where things are just learning, like children are learning
Rapid learning,
very quickly. A cultural meaning system for interpersonal relationships appears to become a salient part of self-identity to which they are emotionally attached. Basically, talking about that, like they are learning how children learn how to react emotionally, relationally, and all this stuff
just
during this
through
important
experiences.
Yes, through experience-based
Interactions,
development.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe you can talk about that and what that looks
For
like
sure.
for kids.
Yes.
And then we can tie it back into.
Yeah. It's like, so we talk about this like in the development of like attachment relationships. And so this is developed through something called a reciprocal interchange. And that is that over and over again, like through millions of little interactions, like micro interactions with your caregiver, you are learning what it means to interact with others, like in all kinds of different ways. Like you learn what to expect from relationships. Like I learn whether I can count on you, how I can count on you to respond, and like what you're likely to do in response to what I'm doing. And so, all of these interactions, I'm rapidly adapting and adjusting how I behave based on how you respond to my behavior in our interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we learn based off experience.
Yeah.
So
And
like
so it's what we are experiencing in relationship, and it's what we're observing around us and the relationships between the people around us. Caregiving environment.
So I think what's interesting about that too, so like considering our current generation, so we're getting less face-to-face time, more virtual time, which means our experience is largely virtual, less physical, which means what we're experiencing and what we're learning from is the interactions of a virtual world where we can create who we want to be. I think about like the
like AI, ChatGPT.
Yes, I mean, or even like Tinder, like catfishing on Tinder. You can create anyone that you want to be. And you know, the book kind of refers to technology in the virtual world in this way as experience blockers. You know, rather than that it's just a different way of experiencing life. It's curating a false reality, instead of so it's not a true experience, which means it is an experience blocker, and it's also like you see an increasing number of kids that don't want to go outside.
You don't have to learn to adapt to anything because everything is adapting to you based on what you want.
And then you get into like the algorithms and all these different things, and it's a entire world that. And honestly, like a parent can't in the physical world, a parent can watch over their child, make sure, if they're playing on the playground and they fall and get a bruise on their leg, what are you going to do? You're going to run to your child and you're going to go and put a Band-Aid on it, make sure they feel better, and then you're going to encourage them to go back and play, right? The problem is you have absolutely no supervision in the virtual world.
Right. You don't know
as much
what's
as you
happening.
as much as you think you do.
Yeah. You know that, like, for instance, like, if you're supervising Snapchat for your child, you know that they've interacted with these random people who are really just emojis and have fake names.
Yeah.
And you don't know what that interaction is or how that interaction's affected your child or how many times they've interacted or...
Well, and the virtual world has completely different requirements than the physical world. I mean, if you think about like your typical age limits, right? In the physical world, you have things to look forward to. Like whenever you're 16, you get your driver's license. When you're
Mhm.
18, you're eligible to vote. You're considered a legal adult. When you're 21, you get to drink.
Yeah.
And so there's these age parameters.
Yeah, these like milestones, or
Yes.
these like coming of age,
Age kind of things. But in the virtual world, there is no age. There is no. I mean, yes, you can click a button and say, "Yeah, I'm older than 18," or not 18, 13. In order to get it. 13 years old.
Yeah, and because we're all so wise at 13.
Yeah, we're so wise.
Because we all know
I am fully developed at 13.
Yeah.
No, that's. I mean,
yeah,
just by clicking a button and saying, "Yeah, I have agreed to parental consent," and I'm 13, and
yeah, it's wild.
Largely, children are lying whenever you're creating accounts. That.
Yeah, because their friend has one.
Yeah,
because their parent maybe said it's okay to lie about that, and we want you to have this, or we feel comfortable with it, or or they're curious.
Yeah, and like I
It's
don't.
such a dilemma.
Yes, it is. It's extremely complex because we don't want to like just say, well, I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but I don't want to undermine the fact that like we want the best for our children.
Yeah,
I say that like I have children. You want the best for me.
I do. Yeah.
You want the best for me just the way that the Lord wants the best for me. And that is for right now in our current society, like what looks best for from the world's perspective is that of course you're going to let your kids do what everyone else is doing. And we don't want to just
it's distorted, and so like if I think about like you getting a phone, part of that too was like we didn't have a landline, and we were gonna we were going to a small group and didn't have a landline, didn't have a way for, we had left you at home, and we had an alarm, and somebody came and scared you guys to death because somebody like crazy person came and
that was scary,
like was banging on the door, and
we had finished watching Frozen.
And you guys were terrified.
We're like, let it go.
And and
we were terrified. We got on our knees and prayed. We said, "Lord, help us."
I know.
I said, "Brandon, we need to pray."
We turned to the Lord in your time of need, which I'm grateful for. But that was also really scary.
It was so scary.
Like there's these complexities and like these things, like these real world moments that you're like,
yes,
okay, and well, we needed, and then there were just,
and you think about how many people look down
all these different things.
Yes, and think about how many people look down on how kids were raised in like the 80s, where they were just allowed to go wherever they wanted, and like you watch you watch the movies, like My Girl, and they're like riding their bikes to wherever, and all this stuff,
I rode
and
my
people
bike all over the place. I was completely rogue. It was just like be home by the time the sun goes down.
And we and it's common now for us to look down on that, and be like, after the introduction of shows like, 60 Minutes, and you're seeing all these tragic cases of
where people went missing and kids were kidnapped and all kinds of bad things.
Obviously, there's more awareness of that now, but there's also the risk of overprotection, and then like if we overprotect, how much more are we pushing kids to be free in the virtual world, because they need that social interaction. And so there has to be a balance. And I think the encouragement that we have for, parents and just all of our listeners is like, if the Lord leads you to parent in a certain way, like, say, I mean, he's obviously going to do it individually for each person. Like he's very, one-to-one with like how he, parents his children, and how he parents us as a father and as the best father, that we could ever ask for. And
but we can, I think it's asking him for wisdom, you know,
Yes.
and
Discernment.
discernment, yeah. And it's also, you know, it's complex, it's complicated, and you may not
There's no right way.
Well, yeah, and it's a very hard. I mean, it's just difficult. I mean, like my other child, your brother, you know, he attends a Christian school where he has to have a laptop. You know, they don't allow Chromebooks. It's really the only one you can completely lock down.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there has to be like heavy monitoring because we would not allow usually to have, you know, internet access. And so like, even though you don't want these things, it's like to operate in the world,
You have to do.
it's like you have to have,
Yeah.
you know, like when you started driving,
Mm-hmm.
we had to give you internet access because we were like, if she gets lost somewhere,
Yeah.
she's going to have to be able to find her way.
Yeah.
And that's the way this world works. You know, back when I was driving, I had a map. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, we ain't got those no more.
I had one of those, like a Garmin or whatever, one of those, you know, I don't even think I had that actually when I started driving. I had, you know, a map. Literally, I had a map. I also lived in Atlanta.
I wouldn't have been able to read that at all. Yeah.
But yeah, and anyway, it was just a completely different time, and so like it's just hard to, and it does make me think about like I was thinking about this earlier, but like in Philippians, you know, in Philippians, it's Paul is writing to that church, and they're under Roman rule, and he's trying to give them encouragement because they're living in a culture that is not like that is persecuting them, and he's trying to encourage them to live a different way that is countercultural to the way that is happening around them.
Yeah.
And he's trying to encourage them, and
and I think you see that all throughout scripture, which is really encouraging, honestly, because it shows that like there is a different way of living that is better. So, yeah, don't like our encouragement is like don't be discouraged if you know there's backlash from your child about like why do things have to be this way, because I feel like we definitely
you guys
lashed back.
Yeah, you guys
we
still
were
had
pretty
that
upset about like having limits. We knew that it was frustrating, really frustrating to us because we were considered, you know,
your brother's still in this season.
Yeah, I mean, we
16,
were considered,
yeah.
And I'm in some ways still like you have to follow the Lord's leading, you know, and like the Lord was leading me to not have certain like areas of social media, and there has been so much more fruit and peace from that, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's absolutely true. Like and I think that is the thing. Like what starts out as like parents maybe setting limits, something that you kind of want to push back against, you do realize as you become more mature and more mature in your faith even, that it's actually for your good. And then whenever the Lord is kind of pricking your heart and saying like, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't do that thing, or maybe you shouldn't go there, or maybe it's like, I have something better for you than this, or is that really what you need, or is that really fulfilling what it is that void is that you're feeling, or is there something else that you're looking for? And you know, and so, and I would say like as I mature in my faith, that continues to be something, or things that come up, you know, and so it looks different now than it did 5 years ago or 10 years ago, even what I'm even like accepting in my life or feel comfortable with, and it's not because I'm, you know, legalistic or anything like that, or because I feel like, I don't know, God's angry with me or anything like that. I feel like it's a gentle care for me that he's like, you know, I want to take care of you. I want you to be safe. I want you to be whole. I want you to be healthy in every way. And so just like you were saying, like just like a good father cares for his children, like he's saying like, hey, this isn't probably very good for you, and so like, how about you don't do that? And then I respond to that. And when I do, then good things, come from that.
Sorry.
And Philippians 4 starts in verse 6 where it says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand.
Mm-hmm.
His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all you learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's a good father, and he's going to lead parents in the way that he would parent, He's never going to ask us to do something that he himself wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yep.
yeah, I think.
Yep.
Just be praying about the specific guidelines for your kids, no matter how old or young, or, I mean, they could be babies, and just praying about, like, okay, how does this going to look? Like, whenever they get to the age where,
Yeah.
it'd be so easy to stick a tablet in front of their face whenever I want some sleep. But, like,
yeah.
what is the better what is the better option? Like,
yeah.
what is the cost of sticking a tablet in a face,
Mm-hmm.
to distract so that we can, like, have some sense of peace?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the more important thing that they have a different kind of childhood, like a childhood that's, face based rather than screen based, and like just counting the costs,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just let's close today because I know this is a hard subject. And I think it's something that, like, I continually, I mean, you may have kids, I don't know where you guys are in your parenting journey, and you may have kids that are just fully accepting whatever limitations you put on them for screens and technology. For me, this has been kind of tough and an ongoing kind of thing. And so I just feel like I want to pray for you guys and for anybody who's listening who is just kind of walking through that. And so I'm going to do that now as we close out our time together today. So, Father, I pray that you would just be with each person who's listening today. God, I thank you that you have good plans for your children. God, whether that's a challenge for us as adults, whether that's a challenge for us as parents, for the children that you've put in our care. God, you care so much about us. You want us to be whole. You want us to be lacking nothing. You want our eyes fixed on the things that are not seen, the things that are of you, the things that are eternal. And Lord, I ask God that we would not be distracted by the things that are temporary, the things that seem so urgent and immediate, but that are really just cultural and are really deception and tactics of the enemy of our souls to come after our kids and to come after our relationships with our kids, because we know, God, that you have good plans for us. We have good plans for our relationships with our children. And so, Lord, if there are relationships between moms and dads, and their children, caregivers and their children out there who are listening that feel disconnected. God, I pray you give them points of connection. I pray that you would remind them of the ways that they have been enjoyed, how they've had someone play with them, how they've had someone connect with them. And God, I pray that you would show them the way, give them wisdom where they lack it. We know you're faithful to do so. We ask these things in the name of Jesus and with faith. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Episode 5.
Complete.
Done.
We'll see you guys next time.
If you don't follow us on Instagram, go do that. We're YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us so you don't miss an episode, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.